Evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bristol Town Council meeting of February 5th. If you could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the first item of business is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda and to pull CC1.
Just looking what CC1 is, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, it is the year-to-date report.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and pull CC1. Is there a second?
Second.
So motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the submission of minutes. We have the town council meeting minutes from January 15, 2025, as well as the executive session minutes from January 15th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item in the agenda is ordinances. This is C1, ordinance number 2025-1, Chapter 8, Boats, Docks, and Waterways, Section 8-72, Parking Permits for Dock Holders, Section 8-76, Off-Season Parking at the Marina Ferry Dock, and Chapter 16, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Section 16-382, Prudence Ferry Parking, and this is to allow off-season overnight parking at the Marina Ferry Dock. First reading.
Make a motion to consider this first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary. That is first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is C2. This is ordinance number 2025-2, Chapter 16, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 5, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Section 16-146, Parking Time Limit in Designated Places. And this is for the removal of the limited time parking in front of 78 State Street. Also first reading.
Motion to approve first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony, that this constitutes first reading. Any discussion? Just for the public, we go through these first readings pretty quickly. There's no discussion on them because we typically discuss, if there is any discussion, at second reading. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Philip Fittings, Explore Bristol. This is a request for mobile food establishment event for the British Motor Cars at the Bristol event on June 6, 2025, from 4:30 to 9 p.m. at Independence Park.
Is Philip here? You don't look like him. Come on up, would you? How are you, sir? Nick, if you could state your name and address for the record,
Yeah,
please.
Nick Pinello, 76 Kingswood Road.
And if we could get Nick a chair, he's going to be in front of us for a little bit here. We got a few things in front of us. So tell us what's going on, Nick.
This is our close to 10th year providing the British Motor Cars in Bristol event. And Friday night, there's a street party at Independence Park with some music and couple of vendors, about 80 cars, British Motor Cars parade through town, and they have a mini car show at Independence Park. The parade through town is led by the police department, and earlier in the day, the British Motor Car Club does a drive through southern Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and they do stop at the veterans home and have a mini car show for the veterans at the end of that drive. Saturday, they have their car show at Independence Park. There's about 250 cars or so that attend. They have food vendors, and it's very well attended. Each of the cars have 2 or 3 or 4 people associated with them, so they draw about 500 to 1,000 people into town. Their organization, their Facebook page has 4,000 members, and their website, I'm not sure how many members, but they have over 2,000 members. they promote these shows throughout other clubs throughout New England. So Bristol gets fabulous promotion just by this one event. So it reaches all the way through New York up to Canada and all through New England. So it's been a great event.
I know for myself, and I know I speak for the council and the town, that I'm so happy that this happens. I'm so happy it continues to happen. We would be remiss in not mentioning Mike Burns and his efforts and energies that went into this. But certainly Mike was not the only one, but he was certainly a driving force.
I
on it.
agree.
So, but this is outstanding. And as I mentioned, there's a few other things, so we can go through that. Council?
Oh,
Can-
go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, excuse me. Can we merge these or is it preferred that we keep them separate? I heard that from the clerk. She says, pile them in.
Well, we can, but then we need a
Okay.
motion on each one to
Okay.
approve because they're separate. So let's, I hear a motion to merge as well.
Merge, yes.
Merge.
I'll second
I'm
We
with that.
don't want to
Yeah.
hold up
So-
Nick here longer than he
We're
has
gonna get him a
to.
Yeah,
So motion
exactly.
from
I agree.
Tony.
Good call, Tony.
Seconded by Aaron to combine, I'm going to say it out loud, D1, D2, D3, D4. Did I miss anything? No.
Okay, so it'll be combined and then.
And then we'll have
One motion.
a vote on
Okay.
each one of those,
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So Tony, since you combined them,
Make a motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Let's
let's
do it.
start with the first one then. Okay, I make a motion that we approve, obviously pending on recommendations made by the various departments and be in compliance with the ordinances of the town.
and that's on D1, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second, but I do have some questions for
Sure.
Nick. So.
okay. So we had a motion made by Tony, seconded by Aaron to approve. Discussion.
Nick, thanks for being here today.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for always, rallying the troops and putting this event together. I think I remember it being one of the first events that I remember when I moved to town. My question has to do with the liquor
Yes.
sales. So is it Explore Bristol that's actually going to be selling the
No,
liquor? Okay.
Vigilant Brewery is, will be selling the alcohol.
Okay. One of the reasons why is I was just going to ask that, and I thought about this the other day, if you could ask them if there would be an option of having a non-alcoholic
There-
option as well. Okay.
There is.
They're coming out with some really good NA
Mhm.
beverages now.
Yep.
And so if it would just give other people an opportunity, I
They-
think, to,
We've always had water and a soft drink available, so.
okay.
Yeah.
But they have that, like the NA beers
Oh, yeah,
too
I
and
know.
everything like
Yeah.
that. So it might be a little more inclusive if
Mhm.
those types of things are added, but that's the only question I had for you.
Mhm.
So.
Any other discussion on D1?
I would just ask for Chief to weigh in. Do you have anything that you would like to add on to that one, Chief? Besides the recommendations already.
No, it's been a well-attended event and they participate very closely with the Bristol Police Department. It's been working seamlessly.
Succinct?
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I just want to say that the visibility, economic benefits to the town are fantastic with this event. In this coming event marking its 10 years.
It's close to that.
Okay, I was just curious, is there anything you'd like to highlight that's going to be different this year? Or is it pretty
You know,
much the same?
It's all the same. The British Motor Cars of New England Club, it's a nonprofit, it's not a profit event. So they raise funds and they donate to different charities. This year, one of their charities or one of their donations will be to Parks and Rec to
Oh, okay.
provide a couple scholarship, I don't know how many, but to kids to attend summer camp. So
Fantastic. I did
they,
not know
uh,
that. Thank you.
They appreciate all the work that Parks and Rec does with them, so they want to pay back.
Excellent. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you and very happy to see that this event continues, and that you guys are all, I know Mike had a good team with him and that it's continuing. It seems like a really good event to have and a lot of people, brings a lot of people to town and I'm just, well, thank you all, like your committee
Mhm.
for continuing the tradition. And we will get the actual date of when it started.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to take a moment and encapsulate, Mr. Solicitor, I'm going to ask for a motion. We have a motion and a second, but I want to also include D2. I can do this in one. Would you agree with that if I break each one of them out, or do you want, are we required separate motions?
I think your motion to merge them would
Then
also
cover
allow
it.
you to make one motion
Then I'm
to
gonna-
grant all of them if the clerk is okay with that.
Yes, they're all the same motion.
I'm going to cover this all. So just a reminder, this is a permit for the British Motor Cars in Bristol event on June 6th from 4:30 to 9 p.m. at Independence Park. Additional to that is June 7th, a request for a mobile food establishment event permit for the same. Additional to that is June 6th, request for a one-day dancing and entertainment license for Friday night street party at Independence Park. And then lastly, for a request to serve alcohol in support of the British Motor Cars in Bristol at Independence Park on June 6th from 4:30 to 8:30, as already mentioned by Councilman Texera, following all laws and ordinances, of course. Any discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D5. This is Joanne Fanatini, 12 Gould Street, Newport, for Batista Bakery, and this is for a request for victualling license under new ownership. And I'll also note for the record that there's a received at meeting document, which is a copy of their menu. So late item.
Mr. Rego.
Good evening. Alfred Rodriguez Jr. on behalf of Joanne Fantini, who has decided to purchase Batista Bakery and Pastries, Inc. to continue the tradition. And that establishment, I believe, is over 100 years old. I'm 74. I remember a 2-year-old, 1-year-old going there with my mom, but it's going to continue as is pretty much. She acquired the property a few weeks ago and set up business, and we're going to continue with it. She's going to continue with it. The menu is sort of traditional, few new items over the next few months she's experimenting with. She could not be here this evening, so she asked me to step in. We hope the board would approve it.
I grew up, I used to live on,
Right
actually
next door
right next to you. Right?
to
Yeah,
the homestead that I still live in. Yeah.
we would walk past Bautista's and go to St. Elizabeth for
Every-
church and then come back down and
and-
get some bread and have Sunday dinner.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
this is it's a Bristol establishment. When I saw this come up and I had heard inklings of it going around, it was, it's nice to see it's continuing, just like we were talking about the British Car Show. Institutions like this continuing is so very important. Council?
I did have an opportunity to, actually, they already had closed the door. And I knock at the door, I say, I need some bread for supper. And they actually opened the door, and I had the opportunity to meet her because the owner says, no, you need to open the door for him. Well, so I ended up getting my rolls, but I had the opportunity to chat a little bit, and certainly I wish her the best. And it's awesome to see this continue. I was wondering what the future would be of the bakery. Well, no, we know what the future is, and certainly we wish her the best and to continue. It's interesting that we have a list or a menu of what's offered there, which I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, are very familiar. As you already pointed out, you can't help it walking by there in the morning and just get that nice aroma of all the bread.
This one
so,
grabbed my attention, this Portuguese delicacy is called tiramisu. Are you familiar with that? Yeah.
I've never tried that before.
Who doesn't like tiramisu? Like you, Chairman, I also grew up going to Batista Bakery. I look at Batista Bakery as sort of like an anchor in town. It's been there for a long time, and I'm glad to hear it's going to continue. So based on the recommendations, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, best wishes.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D6. This is Brian Sadler, 363 Papa Squash, and this is for Gray's Ice Cream LLC, and this is a request for vittering license. This is for a location change.
This
Good
is an
evening.
evening of institutions,
Yes,
sir.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Good to see the board again. I was here a month ago.
Yes.
I know, yeah, it's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yes, we're relocating to Hope Street on the corner of Hope and State Street where the old Dunkin' Donuts was.
Yeah.
And if you've been here a long time, the old Duffy's,
Duffy,
right?
I know.
Duffy's.
When do you see yourself opening?
We're shooting for the beginning of April.
Oh, no kidding.
Great.
I think I'm very positive this evening, so it'll be wonderful to have that right there. And it's, in my head, I see it as almost an anchor store, if you will.
I hope it will be.
So,
I hope it will
and
be.
bringing people down, and
Yes.
hopefully that spreads accordingly. So,
Yes, that's what we're hoping.
And April until, it's not year round, right? You're a seasonal.
We're planning to be year round
Oh.
on that place, yes. Mhm.
So you'll be having like a little
Awesome.
ice cream parlor inside where you can sit down and have ice cream and
A
things?
few seats inside, yes. Mhm.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I think that's something that's been missing.
I think so.
My kids are gonna love it.
I think it's great, the location you're moving to, because a lot of people come through there and they're on their way to Newport, and you're a reason to stop.
Mhm.
And they may
in
stop and
front of the
have
bus
dinner,
stop
and
also.
they may go shopping.
Yes.
And who doesn't love ice cream?
That's
I haven't
right,
met
that's
somebody
right.
yet who doesn't like ice
Unfortunately, I
cream.
didn't bring any tonight. I know last time you requested, sorry.
Rum raisin, I'm looking for some rum raisin.
No simplest.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
guys.
sorry,
Based
Black.
on,
Go
well, based on the recommendations, make a motion to approve.
Second,
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Tony to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. One sec.
best
Thank you.
wishes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then,
The next item on the agenda is D7. This is also Brian Sadler for Gray's Ice Cream LLC, 467 Hope Street. This is a request for the holiday sales license.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second,
motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you and good luck.
The next item on the agenda is D8. This is Jessica Phillips, 116 Tupelo Street, Unit 2. This is an on-site portable restroom and septic LLC. This is a request for a cesspool license.
I feel bad for Jessica following up from ice cream. It's an important resource, but is Jessica here? Yeah. Jessica, would you like be careful with a 30-second commercial on
Oh
this?
my
So-
gosh.
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. Please.
Good
So you're
evening.
opening up a new establishment. Go ahead.
Yep, we're just expanding. So we've been a local business here for about 3 years now, doing the portable restrooms. So we're just expanding into septic now to give, more opportunities for our customers. So that's where we're looking to go.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Council?
I make a motion that we approve it, Mr. Chair.
Second,
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
congratulations, on the expansion.
The next item on the agenda is D9. This is Maria Cesario, Bristol Rotary Club, Inc. This is a request for a bingo license for Friday, February 27th from 5:30 to 10 p.m. to be located at St. Elizabeth's Auditorium.
Based on the recommendations, I make a motion that we approve it.
second,
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Mary to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E1. This is Cruz Gola Coca-Cola Culinary Consulting LLC, doing business as Judge Roy Bean Saloon, 1 State Street. This is a 6-month review of the dancing and entertainment license.
I don't think there was any issues,
No, there
based on the
Chief, no
thing, so,
issues?
No
Is that
issues.
correct?
no. So I make a motion that we approve it.
Second,
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh,
Thank you.
We had
You're
somebody
next
here.
on our list. Hold on one.
Oh, okay.
The next item on the agenda is E2, Cruz Golar Coca-Cola Culinary Consulting LLC, doing business as Judge Roy Bean Saloon, 1 State Street. And this is for a 6-month review of the intoxicating beverage license.
Again, Chief, no issues.
Make a motion, we approve it.
second,
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve. Any discussion? I do. How is it going?
It's going okay, some good, some bad. But generally, I would say, well, the first quarter of business in the holiday was, Not yet.
All right.
Not yet, really.
Unknown
I think a
exists.
lot of people still, the identity is still very much of a bar, and, you know, I'm working to sort of advance that a little bit. I don't think we're quite there yet, but, you know.
So if you were to express what you are now, what has changed from what it was?
I would say it's a slightly better college bar.
Okay.
I wish I had a
Gonna
little more
follow up on that,
progress to
Chairman?
report, but it's been a little bit slower than anticipated. But I think in the spring there'll be much more progress and a little bit of a new feeling and a new identity and offerings and improvements all around, et cetera, from the facade to the menu to the
So you can have dinner and
hospitality and
then
everything. Yeah,
have an ice cream afterwards right up the
there you
street.
go. Yeah.
So outstanding stuff. Any other discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is E3. This is here at Boss, 429 Wood Street, for Midland Farm Vitrilling license. This is a 3-month review.
Again, this is pretty,
Chief?
yes.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah.
No issues during the review period, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, is it, am I saying a bass? Is that correct?
Yes.
I said that correctly?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
I'm representing him on behalf of it.
excellent. Okay, so no issues. So
I make a
Motion.
motion that we approve it.
All right, I'll second the motion.
motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, the next item on the agenda is E4. This is Peter Carvelli from Folia, 31 State Street. This is for a dancing and entertainment license. This is also a 6-month review. I will note that there is an item on the agenda, on the diocese of received at meeting. Peter did send an email earlier today. He had a travel situation and was unable to make it this evening. He did make a comment that he wanted to be said during the meeting.
Go ahead,
Read it?
Madam Clerk.
Okay, so it said, if possible, I'd simply like the council to be aware that on the nights that we have music, we are employing local artists. Usually on the nights they don't have another venue. Also, when we host Pat McGee twice thus far, we have drawn folks who have stayed over in Bristol at local inns and hotels and who then stay in town the following day and contribute to the local economy. I am also not aware of any complaints. Thank you.
Well, there were no issues from the police department, so I move that we grant them or accept the review, and we grant them the continuation of their license, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Mary, seconded by Tony, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
And also from DPW Director. And this is because the agenda was posted on Thursday versus Friday, so those are both items.
Chief, there's a few recommendations here. They seem to coincide with the requests. Anything that you need to add here?
No, we met with Mr. Correa and went over the concerns that the police department had relative to times of ticket sales, how many police officers are needed for the venue. And there was excellent cohesion and understanding. And the committee is in agreement with the police department for public safety purposes.
Beautiful.
Good. So based on the recommendation, I make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim to approve with recommendations. Any discussion?
Just said I can't believe already we're making motions on the 4th. It goes fast, but looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe soon we'll be talking about Christmas. right?
Yeah.
Any
We'll
other
be hitting
discussion?
everything, all the holidays.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is F2. This is Catherine Zip, the executive director of the Bristol Historic and Preservation Society. And this is a request for council consideration to support the Battle of Rhode Island Association for the series of events commemorating the 250th anniversary of the Bristol raids in May of 2025.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you guys again. I have brought things. One is a cannonball,
Oh, very cool.
which you guys can hold if you would like.
Sure.
And Elaine, who I think is the
I'm a
biggest,
thing. I'm
yeah, she's my biggest, the biggest fan. Don't drop it.
I shall not.
Okay, so this was shot by the British at Bristol.
Would
Oh,
you like,
wow.
would you like the experience?
Yeah,
I will.
you want the
Do you want that?
experience. Yeah, just think, that's what it sits on. I mean, if you drop it, it'll hurt your toe.
I just don't
Like a
want
lot.
this little-
Whose house did it hit?
That I don't think we know,
Good
but yeah,
Okay.
you can hold it.
Yeah, you gotta be strong.
That's the middle one. There was a bigger one, and then, of course, the little shop. And we have all these. The Bristol Historical and Preservation Society is working with the Battle of Rhode Island Association to reenact the bombardment that happened in 1775 of Bristol and the burning of Bristol. Course, going to be the heart and soul of this event. There will be two reenacting events in the morning on May 17th. We will be pretending the British will stand on the ship and pretend, and Simeon Potter will go out and negotiate the sheep, which will make the British go away. And then in the afternoon, we are right now, and this is very sort of nebulous and tentative. So to the police, I promise I'm coming to you next. We want to do a street fight, a pretend, air quotes, street fight. No ammunition. So it's going to be really fun. It's a weekend of events starting on Friday, the 16th, and concluding Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with an 8th grade sail out on the boat. All the 8th graders are looking like they're going to get the opportunity to go out on the boat. So we ask for your support, particularly in the budget, just to say that the Bristol Historical Society has not asked for anything in the budget in several years. So may that, smile kindly on us. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I did bring the cheerleading section, who is
Yes,
here to
I'm
say how
excited.
great it's gonna be, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is the big launch of the 250 event, even though the 250 event is really officially 2026. It's our way of starting the big bang of it. And what Catherine visualizes for this, and I put my 2 cents in, is we want this to be a gigantic community experience. So the kids going on the boat, the ship is going to come into the harbor. We're going to have a lot of swag with sheep and little cattle. And it happens to be the Cockshell Farm is doing their sheep shearing the same weekend. And since sheep was a trade for the,
Yeah, the
Something,
British bombardment,
she knows,
they came in and demanded 200 sheep and 30 fatted cattle. And
Yeah.
they bombed the town until Simeon Potter rode out and negotiated them down from 200 sheep to 40 sheep. So sheep's a thing.
yeah, so we're trying to say, what was the line that we came up with? The Brit
Oh, Brits attack Bristol and lose.
and lose, like that's the big thing, because we don't want it to be we're not trying to celebrate getting attacked. We're trying to celebrate
The
fact that
victory.
we're victorious.
Yeah, my
We're-
support just went way down.
Yeah. No, that's
No,
why
no,
we
no,
won. And he won, we won.
We did. The Patriots routed
And
them
how
in the
many
end.
houses were burned?
Some 19 houses. So it's 2 different events, the bombardment, where we negotiate them down from, really, that's a pretty good deal. 200 sheep and 30 fatted cattle down to 40. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to give Potter some credit for that.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty darn good. Maybe you all get deals like that. And then in the afternoon will be the burning. Some 19 or so houses were burned by the British as they raided. They sailed up, landed somewhere at about Erin Avenue or so, and then marched down Hope Street and burned various houses down the road. When they get down to where Wood Street meets Ferry at Tanyard Brook there, they encounter the Patriot militia. There's a big skirmish, and the militia push them back down to their boat at the bottom of Ferry Road.
Yeah, and what's great about this is that because the 250 committee is meeting and we have Jessica Almeida on that board,
she's in the school committee, so we want to just have everybody be involved. And the fire department, they can talk a lot about what it was like to put out fires without hoses. We've got the bucket that, people stood in a line, and we were kind of visualizing maybe a bunch of kids go down the road and pretend like they're putting out fires. So we
Yeah.
want it to be a really big event.
Yeah, Mike has volunteered to lead the kids, and Mike Riley has volunteered to lead the kids in charging at the British. So
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
Santa.
Can you believe there's a British reenacting group? I'm
No,
sort of
did not. I
horrified,
can't
to be
imagine,
honest.
yeah.
But there is, and 28 of them have volunteered already.
And you're saying it's gonna be a whole week of just?
A weekend, so.
Oh,
the
just
ship-
the weekend?
Yeah, the ship will sail in on Friday night. I will
Friday
be selling that. You will actually be able to ride on the ship coming in for a not inconsiderate amount of money. And then there will
separate from what
be,
we're asking.
yeah, and then there'll be, yeah, you guys don't have to do that. We're covering the ship. It's the reenactors I need help with. So the ship will arrive on Friday night. There will be a party dockside. Saturday, Herreshoff dock. Saturday morning, the ship will be open for tours. We'll do the reenactments. And then Sunday, sort of same thing. And there are some various other events that we're going to tag along with it that, we hope will be super fun and exciting.
Oh, wait, if you could, you certainly can ask a question, but I need you to come up.
I love questions. If you ask a question, it means you have to volunteer on the board. just so
Right.
She's already volunteered.
Just quickly.
If you could state your name and.
Alan Spen, 133 Ferry Road.
Thank you.
Will there be, I assume, an explanation in advance or material so people may not have a feel of the history? I wouldn't. I'm hearing you.
Oh, yes.
So sort of how it transitioned and, as you say, from sheep to something else or
Right.
that.
Right.
I was just wondering if there's a way we'll know in advance. Yeah.
Okay. So marketing.
Okay, so today is the first touch on. It's our foot in the door of just letting everybody know that we're doing this. So we're gonna have marketing material. We're gonna make this a big educational event, but this is just like super phase one. All right. So
Okay.
yes, Alan, yes. And you're
Council
volunteering.
questions?
Alan, how many sheep do you own? Chairman, I just had a quick question in regards to the breakdowns of funds.
Yes.
So the council, we obviously probably we want to support it, I'm assuming. But
hope.
we would need a breakdown of funding so we understand where this money is going.
Yes, so that was part of the letter that I included and is part of the grant application that I put forward. I'm asking for $5,000 that will go specifically towards the reenactors. I initially counted that up, and my numbers are now not in front of me, which I really should have done. It was something to the effect of $250 per reenactor for 25 reenactors, and then the BHPS would cover the difference. It's actually looking like it might play out a little differently in the sense that the regiments are asking for donations. So what I'll probably do, and then they will bring the entire regiment. That was unanticipated when I initially was speaking to the group of reenactors, which are the Seventh Army Regiment. I didn't realize how popular this event would be. And so I said that I only need about 10 people, and they came up with 28. So that was where the deal came up. That's great. If they want to come, can I make a donation to the regiment? So it may factor out a little differently. Each regiment will get the same amount of money, but instead of going to individual people, it will go to the regiment itself. That's in the weeds, but
Yeah.
it'll be $5,000
No,
total.
for the whole total event though.
Well, I don't, yeah, it's gonna be 75,000 total for
Yeah.
the event. I mean, the
Total.
boat itself is 45.
Any state funding, grants,
There's,
federal?
yeah, we're going after lots of grants. I don't know if I can get state funding in time. But I do have a lot of grant requests out already. And the Oliver Hazard Perry for the duration is $45,000. We have about 9 from the Battle of Rhode Island already. And I do think I have grant requests out for maybe about 15,000 more. So I do feel confident that the remainder of the event will be covered. It's just that I want to guarantee the reenactors' participation because, again, they are the lifeblood of the. I mean, the boat's great, but it's so much of a different event if you have the British on the boat shooting at the Patriots on the dock, and then Simeon Potter goes out. It's just a different event, and it really brings it up a notch. And really, it's a bargain. I mean, $5,000.
We have a lot of sponsorship packages
Yeah,
ready to
we
go,
will have
too.
that too.
Mr. Chairman, obviously, It's wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. But obviously, it's one of the events of the 250th. So what I would recommend is that we provide a sponsorship of to $2,500.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. So I know for myself, this money comes from council contingency.
Mhm.
There is no special, we don't have a fund put aside for thing.
Yeah.
Actually, let me back up just a second. This sounds wonderful. Just to be clear. That if we were to do the total 5,000, it would deplete that fund pretty significantly. And we use that, for example, the fire department will come to us and ask us to support their fundraisers, police department, yearly events. So I think that is I know it's less than what you were asking for, but I would certainly support that. I think this is a wonderful event. So
Great, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, so you guys put in a $5,000 grant though to the town, right? For the,
We did.
so the 2,500, I believe, covers half of that. And so then are you looking for just another 2,500 for the grant then?
That would be great.
Okay, so during budget time.
the problem is that although all of
Yeah.
that is correct, or at least it sounds correct to me, is that we have human services with X dollars, right? So this is kind of going around the human services part of it.
Yeah.
Where human services, for example, have been, the one that comes to mind all the time when I think of human services is the Samaritans, right? So there are a multitude of organizations and agencies that ask us for that, and those dollars, they're not promised, but there's some consistency with us giving those. So I'm just setting it up that I don't know if it would happen there. I know
Yeah.
that we can do this through council contingency without an issue because we have that dollars aside for things like this. So
Yeah, I'm familiar with the granting opportunities, and the Bristol Historical and Preservation Society used to ask for those funds. We stopped asking for those funds about 4 or 5 years ago
Yeah.
for precisely the reason that we felt that they were better allocated to other
Sure.
organizations. So we're not here lightly.
No,
We're here because we do feel that the town should support this to the extent that they can. We think that we'll be bringing in, if you want to make dollars and cents about it, I think it'll bring in a huge quantity of money to the town. I definitely think it could have nationwide appeal because we will be going before things like, Bunker Hill. And other big things.
We've also
So,
already sent out intro press releases to the big,
Nice.
Lou
Yeah.
Hammond, involved them already. And also, we realize that this is a weird spot because we know it's not budget time, it's the
Right.
tail end. So
Yeah.
we're in that awkward place of May,
Right.
where it's not July, and we're past the point of July of last year. So I understand your
Yeah.
point.
Which is not to say that I want the council to give me more than as you feel comfortable, but it was a
didn't take
it
it
was a
that way.
calculated
I
ask.
think you're presenting quite well, honestly.
But
So-
there'll still be the opportunity for the
Of
other
course there will be.
2,500.
Yeah, but-
Is I guess is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is,
Yeah.
you're asking for 5,000, you'll get 2,500 now, and then I believe in the budget, we'll
We can
weigh that.
discuss
But that
that.
would
We
be,
can weigh
that
that
is
out.
going to be after the event. It's not going to, that
Oh, is
budget
it?
won't
Oh,
be
when's
until
the event?
July 1st. So,
The May. it's
Oh,
May.
yeah,
I
because
mean-
the fiscal year.
so what I wanted to ask is, like along those lines, that wouldn't really support this per se, unless somebody got, unless it was reimbursed or what have you, but I don't, would there be a budget request in for the event for 26?
Yeah, yes.
Would that would be in this year's budget
I
though,
put
right?
that in for July, for this
this year's
yeah.
budget.
For this
Right,
budget.
right,
I already
right.
put that in on my.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So why aren't we looking to the tourism budget line item and how much we have in there to possibly pony up extra money? Because I really would love to see this take off. This could be a massive, a great limelight for Bristol and really show Bristol off. Carl, is it something we could explore?
We can certainly look through that, yeah.
Okay.
I know that we have a lot of the funds allocated through our operations manager. He manages that account, but we can definitely look at it
Okay.
for sure.
Because I know we have other groups tied into that, and I obviously don't want to sabotage their budget and what they need, but if we're all coming together and it's all rooted to the same cause, I
But I
don't
would
see why
imagine-
we can't.
But I would
come up
think
with
that
it.
some of it, Tim, would already be covered. Like if you're reaching out to Lou Hammond is already covered under that tourism budget, right?
Yes.
So, I
Mhm.
mean, I think that it's all working together. So I'm not sure if there's money in like that whole tourism, explore Bristol, that whole thing to move some of that, but if they haven't spent it all, then it certainly could be used, you
That's why
know?
I'm just seeing if Carl could
Right.
probably investigate that.
Yeah,
Maybe if we
yeah.
could find out, maybe there's
So
some
if I
money in there,
may,
a couple
it
grand.
sounds like we're all in support of this, that we want to
Awesome.
move forward not only this evening with the dollar figure proposed, but also exploring opportunities. If there's additional funds, then it sounds like everybody is on board to support. This council sees the value in the big picture. How's that?
Great,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Is there, so Tony, that was the motion,
Yes, it
correct?
was.
Was there a second?
Mary
I'll-
seconded.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mary seconded.
Mary
Thank
seconded,
you.
yep.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, wait, well, I'm sorry. One moment. Mr. Administrator.
Yeah, I'm looking at my contingency. I have 500. I think I can send that way from the administrator's office.
So we can spend your money?
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's-
Steve,
Now
wow.
they have 3,000, good.
I don't want to make the audience uncomfortable, but anybody else would like?
Peter, Peter, was that a hand, Peter? 500, 500?
We were just,
Outstanding.
so
So,
we were convinced with that cannonball. That was.
It was.
It's something, isn't it? Yeah.
it should stay on short-term loan for people to take a peek at under glass, maybe.
I always let the kids hold it when they come, and it's because it's just surprisingly heavy, and they're like, oh my God,
Thank you,
It is.
this
Chief.
is what they lobbed at
Yeah.
Bristol.
By the way.
Oh, it's just a holder, so it doesn't roll
Oh,
over.
oh,
so.
oh, oh, oh.
Yeah.
All right, so there was a motion and a second for $2,500. With that motion, we will note that the administrator is adding an additional 500 from his contingency. So you will net $3,000.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna have a
Thank
really
you.
good time.
Yeah, we will.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is Jose Diogo. This is 212 State Street. This is a request for accessible parking space in the vicinity of the residence on First Street. This is second reading.
Based on the recommendations, make a motion to approve the second reading.
Mary.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Mary to approve as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is F4. This is Town Clerk Cadero, and this is a memo to remove the accessible parking space located at 204 State Street, second reading.
Make a motion to constitute second reading.
Second?
Motion made by Tony, seconded by Tim as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is G1. This is the Bristol Christmas Festival. This is for 1 year expired term set to expire February 2026. This is continuing from the January 15th meeting. There's a recommendation from Dave Scarpino, the chairman of the Bristol Christmas Festival. There's also 2 letters of resignation, one from Dave Scarpino and one from Lauren Scarpino.
As I said, we were talking about 4th of July, and now we're talking about Christmas. I knew it was coming.
So I have lots to say, but I'm Dave Scarpino, 932 Hope Street. So thank you for giving me a few minutes.
Welcome.
Thank you. So as Melissa said, Laura wouldn't come up. I did invite her. Laura, you wanted to take another shot at it? So we are resigning from the Christmas Festival Committee. And unfortunately, about 24 of our friends are too. The committee will be left with 4 members. Unfortunately, but that's the way it is. We're very saddened to tell you that. I've had the absolute pleasure of being the chairman for the last couple of years. Laura and I both joined during the COVID years when we did the pop-up on where the Gray's ice cream is going to be. And we've grown it into something that I think has been spectacular for us. Sometimes we forget that the Christmas committee does the grand illumination. We do something for seniors. We do something for veterans. We make sure there are things for family and children. It's part of our bylaws. We grew the festival to help the town and help the businesses. We never asked a small business in town for a cent, never asked for a donation. We were there to help them. And hopefully we were successful. And as out-of-towners, and I do get kidded a lot, as a carpetbagger, I do understand the high bar there is set for people like us, and hopefully we've represented this town very, very well. So it's with a lot of regrets. We did elect an interim chair, but as I said, there are only 4 people on the committee. I don't know where it's going to go. But I do have, if I can make, boy, I'm going out on a limb here. Do have a suggestion, since there are other things going on in town. And chances are the town will not be running the festival next year. It's my guess, and probably a pretty good guess. There is a pretty remaining pot of money in the Christmas Festival Committee. It basically is the town money that now goes unallocated. And it could be up to $20,000. So if you have to pick here and there to plug a hole, and Catherine Ziff, I thought, and Elaine made a great pitch, maybe that's not a bad idea to take some of that money and reallocate it. Just a suggestion.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And by the way, I mean, when I hear the reenactment and, the British marching down Hope Street, again, as an outsider, every time I live on Hope Street, the British march past the house I live in. How cool is that?
It is outstanding.
It really is. It's really outstanding. So I just want to thank all our committee members, a small group of people. We're talking about 24 people. When it comes to meetings, we're talking 15 people. When it comes to work, we're talking less than 10. That's the way it is. And they did a hell of a job. And I'm really, really proud to work with them and for them. And Tony, one of your mentors, is now taking over. Tanya is going to be taking over. Kieran, she's going to be taking over as chair. She has the biggest institutional memory. We'll see where it goes from there. And one other thing I want to say, Tim has been outstanding. I feel so bad for him, and I owe him a beer because he's had to listen to me since last May.
Oh, well.
Well,
It's,
thank you for what
well,
you've done. Thank you to
yeah.
the committee,
Yeah.
for those members that I know that you're resigning, but as this council typically does is sends a letter of thanks.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
we'll certainly express it at this moment. And the event was very nice, and it continued to be nice. And but most importantly, thank you for what you did.
No, I'm like,
Yeah. And I'd just like to say a word as the liaison, David and Laura, and to the committee. Thank you for your dedication, what you've done to the event to grow it to the leaps and bounds that I've never seen before. It's unbelievable what you have done. And the Christmas Festival tradition is very cherished here. It's very special. I think the residents love it, and a lot of the people from other towns come in and they love it. So that has a lot to do with you guys. So thank you. We're sorry to see you go. We know we're doing other things. You're not going anywhere, but you're just doing other things. But thank you again for all your hard work.
Tim, I'm like a weed. I'll pop up somewhere.
No, as a past member and chair of the committee, I certainly appreciate, what you folks have done, Laurie, and obviously yourself. It will not be forgotten, all the efforts that you put towards, the festivities and the committee as well.